And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day, committed to being your consumer advocate. It's all about helping you understand your buying decisions here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Almost 7 years running now as a top radio program, TV show right here in Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region is who we serve here in Florida. We'd love to help you with your buying, selling, or investing as well. My wife, Lindsay, and I own and operate a top team here with the Keller Williams companies. That's Keller Williams Realty, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Got a couple of hot listings here. Want to let you know about here in Tampa Bay, some properties listed that we have in the area. 516 Alt 19. This is an opportunity to own vacant land, buy, build, and develop. 0 Alt 19, Palm Harbor, also known as 516 Alt 19 in Palm Harbor. Great development opportunity. Properties listed mid 100 price range. Great opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay to own real estate. Also 19206 US 19 in Clearwater. This is a property that's a commercial asset. Great opportunity for a 1031 exchange and corner lot, freestanding building. Currently operating as a leased auto dealership, a reputable auto dealership that works in the entire southeast region of Florida. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. platinummvpteam.kw.com. And this segment is brought to you by Two Maids and a Mop. The official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Two Maids and a Mop. Say hello to Tabitha and her team at Two Maids and a Mop. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties, and they have a safe, reliable, professional-grade cleaning service. Two Maids and a Mop right here in Clearwater is her location. Tabitha and her team do an outstanding job cleaning our properties as well as our own home. Reach out to Two Maids and a Mop. Let them know that the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we got some great lineup for you here today on the Consumer Quarterback Show. A special lineup. We're going to talk about Mold Zero. We've got Sara Schneider coming in from Mold Zero. Now, you've heard Brandon Faust on the show as well, but we have Sara Schneider coming in. She's talking about different aspects from her position, what she sees, and also has some success stories, different scenarios that have played out in real estate properties and how mold is a silent killer. It can definitely affect you. Also, we're going to have our beach update from Clyde Smith, general manager over at the Bilmar Beach Resort. We got Clyde Smith going to be calling in, giving us an update on things happening on Treasure Island and the beaches and kind of the overall general beach update from what he's seeing over at Treasure Island. And it's our official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We urge you to reach out to the Bilmar Beach Resort. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you when you do. And also we have our feel-good story of the day was a good one. We're talking about a store owner who lost everything to looting, but hopes to reopen after donations pour in. Another example of Americans coming together in a time of difficulty for a family that happened to be a Korean family that owned a store called City Fashions in Chicago. Interesting story about how the community comes back. They're supporting, and of course, you get a Facebook post combined with a GoFundMe account, and good things happen, as we've seen here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Also, giving a shout out to Children's Cancer Center. They've got an event coming up on Sunday, June 28th at 5:30 over at their location on Cypress. And a lot of the nonprofit organizations have been hit hard. Charitable contributions are needed for Children's Cancer Center. They've got an event called Ride, Restore, Refresh, benefiting the Children's Cancer Center. Reach out to the show. We'd love to connect you with them at 813-670-7372. Any of your consumer advocate content, introductions that you need, reach out. We'd love to connect with you. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
And check out consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website, consumerqb.com. And we're going to be right back here with Sara Schneider, VP of Mold Zero and moldzero.com, sales and marketing, right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We would love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, and the Consumer Quarterback Show page, and platinummvpteam.kw.com. at Keller Williams Realty page on Facebook. We'll be right back after this.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is a great one.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Of course, we want to help you if you're buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. This segment is brought to you by the Golf Cart Depot, one of our show partners with the Real Estate Quarterback Show, the Golf Cart Depot. Say hello to Marty and his team. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we've got the Easy Go. They've got Star EV, Cushman, pre-owned and remanufactured golf carts available from our friends over at the Golf Cart Depot. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Say hello to Marty and his team. They do a great job. They've got 2 locations. One's in Land O' Lakes, the other in Clearwater. They also have the Icon electrical vehicles as well. Golf Cart Depot, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, a couple of hot listings here. We got some new development opportunities. So if you're a builder, developer, entrepreneur, and know someone who is, please mention this property to them. 12208 Four Oaks Road in Tampa. This is a 5-acre parcel of land that we just listed right here in Tampa Bay. Now, we've got professional photography coming for this 5-acre property. It's 12208 Four Oaks Road in Tampa, very close to Del Mabry, close to the Veterans Expressway, and it's zoned for 9 units per acre. Great development opportunity. Looking for a builder developer for this 5-acre parcel of land here in Tampa Bay. Also, 12500 Hamlin is a property that we have listed up in Pasco County. This is 12500 Hamlin Road in Spring Hill, Pasco County, 41 acres, $950,000 is the asking price. Check out all of our real estate properties at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, we are welcoming Sara Schneider into the Consumer Quarterback Show. Welcome in.
Hi, thank you.
And you are the VP of Sales and Marketing, Mold Zero.
Yes, I
Awesome.
am.
Good to
Hi.
hear it. So our listening audience heard Brandon on the show before, Brandon Faust. And,
Yep.
and so you are running the sales and marketing side of the business.
Mm-hmm.
What's your day-to-day like?
Day to day is very lots of movement. Let's just say that there's lots of moving pieces. I'm in the office all day, so I'm not generally out in the field. But there is a constant, coordination between all of the field staff. We have a large field staff, so there's just lots of moving pieces, and overseeing all the marketing that's been done in the company. We do digital and also just anything from print and magazines and things of that nature, and do events, and then obviously in managing all the sales and income that's coming in and things of that nature.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So mold is a silent killer. We talk about that, and sometimes I think people underestimate mold, especially here in Tampa Bay with being such a humid environment that we're in.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, your regular homeowner isn't actually aware of how much humidity can, create a perfect environment for mold to grow.
Right.
We have this issue a lot of the times with our snowbirds. You know, they have, homes here that they leave for months at a time, and they want to save a couple $100 on their electrical bill, and they leave either their AC off or they leave it very high, temperatures very high, and during, especially nowadays, right now, the humidity and the temperatures are, soaring out the roof. So it's creating a perfect environment for mold to grow.
Yeah, it really is. And it's not necessarily something that you can see in all cases, right?
No.
Sometimes it's hidden behind baseboards, under carpet. Tell us some situations that you've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's not even surface mold. Sometimes it's just airborne mold. We have, gone into a home where we see no visible mold, and we've done indoor air quality samples, and we've seen very high and elevated levels for even toxic molds. It's not always, just like you said, it's a silent killer. It's not always visible to the naked eye. So that is why, we always push getting, samples done and getting testing, because you can't always find it. But sometimes we'll pop a baseboard back and we'll find, black mold, which is actually scientific name for it is Stachybotrys, but people know it as the black mold. It is one of the most toxic molds out there. And we find it all the time in our visits to our, homeowners.
Yeah. Now, Sara, what are some of the effects that you've seen with that? And I know even Brandon had it in one of his properties at one point.
Yeah. So we actually have a variety of, clients, which, everyone, you have your ones that exhibit very minor symptoms, allergy-like symptoms, coughing, wheezing, sinus issues, brain fog, headaches. I get headaches if I'm in a area that has any toxic mold for too long. That's my go-to symptom.
Yep.
And then scratchy throat, things of that nature. But then there's more serious things, which are due to more long-term exposure. So if you're in a home for a longer period of time and not just walking in and out, you start developing some more chronic issues and, things such as Lyme disease and, other things of that nature are actually linked to long-term mold exposure. So it can get pretty serious, and people aren't always aware of it.
Yeah, we had Dr. Roscoe on the show too, and he was talking about some of the different patients that he's seen and different scenarios that's played out. And tell us some of your recent stories that you had. And by the way, if you just joined us, we're talking with Sara Schneider here. She's the VP of Sales and Marketing for Mold Zero. Check them out at moldzero.com. And so, I love to hear the stories because I think it helps paint the picture for our listening audience.
Yeah, for sure. So I had a family, just purchased a home, did the due diligence, got a home inspection, and there was a little bit of mold in the laundry room. Minor, nothing crazy. Obviously, what we saw was a small area in the laundry room. So they gave us a call, wanted to quote to get the work done. We went out there, and only one person of the family was actually exhibiting symptoms, and that does vary. Everyone's immune system is different, so everyone is going to exhibit symptoms differently and is going to react differently to mold. So one member of the family was having a lot of symptoms, just not able to sleep, waking up up with like congested, sinus issues, things of that nature, difficulty breathing as well. Especially now during everything that went on and we were being, basically we were stuck at our home.
Right.
People started exhibiting more symptoms because they were no longer going to work.
Right.
They were staying at home. So the symptoms got worse.
Wow.
So we got a lot of those calls, but basically opened up the wall. We ended up finding out that it wasn't just the laundry room, it was half of the house.
Wow.
So whatever happened with the old homeowner, it obviously wasn't found. And the, new family just bought a brand new home, super excited to move in, ended up having to, tear down half of the house and rebuild it because there was stachybotrys, which is what people call the black mold in their entire home. And it was not pleasant for them, and especially it happened during this time, during the lockdown time. So it's like they didn't really have anywhere to go. And that's why I always push people to get mold inspections when buying new homes. Yeah. And then, they were and then now they finally all rebuilt, all good. And that, family member is doing great. They're breathing again. Good. They're, having no symptoms anymore, and they're doing good. Yeah. Yeah.
The inspection process, it's one of the things too. When I take a listing on an older property as a real estate agent, I focus more on the listing side, and I consider myself a marketing specialist on the listing side. So one of the things I do, especially if it's a 10, 15, 20-year-old property for sure, is we try to get an upfront inspection done, at least a 4-point at minimum, where we're checking out, the 4-point, the plumbing, the electrical, the AC, the roof. And sometimes you can uncover issues there. You'll see stucco, maybe where there's water coming down through stucco, or maybe a couple of points in the roof where there might be some penetration. And when you see that, then at some point there's a high level for mold to be there. Yeah. So in this case, people would probably say, well, I would have sued that home inspector. What happened there? Well, the thing is, the home inspector found some mold, and he probably said, in his report, he probably had language in there that said something to the effect of recommend getting a full-blown mold contractor company like Mold Zero to come in. And that's probably in the report. Was that the case with that file, or do you remember? Yeah,
that came up in the home inspection. Yeah. This is a area that we spotted. Blah blah blah. Just a little paragraph, just saying this is what we found. Some pictures. We recommend further investigation.
Yes.
So that further investigation should have definitely been done before the closing.
Absolutely.
Because unfortunately, they moved in right at the time where everything was pretty much locked down, and they just didn't have anywhere to go. So they discovered the situation because one of the family members, they were trying to hold off on it and wait till everything was kind of more relaxed in terms of, the quarantine. But the family member that was having these symptoms was just not able to sleep at night and stay in the home. So they said, okay, let's just try and do a small project on the side. We'll kind of just quarantine off that area. We'll put up containment and we'll continue living in the home. And it was not what it seemed. And they, definitely now they know whenever they buy future homes to not only get the home inspection, but also to get a mold inspection, because that would have never been found unless a mold inspector would have gone there before. And then they would have been able to make a better decision in regards to that home.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with Sara Schneider here, VP of Sales and Marketing, Mold Zero. moldzero.com is the site. Yeah, and it's a small cost to do an inspection, I would assume. Very, very minor cost to avoid a lot of headaches, a lot of pain throughout the process.
Why not spend, mold inspections can range anywhere from $350 to even $1,500. It always depends on the size of the property. Yep. Every inspector has their own rates, but why not spend that money when buying the home and just get the inspection done, then maybe buying the home and then finding out you have $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 worth of damage in the home that you have to now figure out. And maybe you bought the home as is. Yeah. So and we see this a lot. It doesn't happen once in a while. Every week I get a new homeowner who just called, this didn't even come up in the home inspection. I just happened to come across it. Wow. And now they have a huge bill on their hands. And, generally the insurance companies don't even cover that because it's a new home.
Wow. So the insurance won't cover it because they say it's a pre-existing
condition. Yeah. A lot of the times if it's a wear and tear, maybe an old issue that's just, maybe the home has been sitting there vacant for a little bit and no one's been, also, especially the homes that are, are sitting vacant and are not being sold, a lot of the times they turn off the AC, and that just feeds into the problem.
That's
because
a big
the humidity levels rise over 60%, and that creates the perfect environment for mold to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to grow first behind the walls or wherever it may have dripped from the ceiling to the roof ceiling down into the underlayment. In some cases you're going to see it down in there. So that's where you find the mold. I would assume in a lot of cases it's going to come on down the walls, and then from there it's going to hit the floor, under the carpet, under the tile.
Yeah. Well, you have two main types. You generally see mold for two reasons: either some type of water intrusion or some type of leak or moisture issue, or you have mold that grows because of humidity. So you actually have two scenarios. And the humidity scenario, you actually generally see it on the surfaces of things. So like furniture, a lot of the times it's only like a light coating on there, and that we see in especially condos. A lot of people buy condos for like a summer home, and we see that very often in condos. A lot of the condos here, especially in the Clearwater area, Pinellas area, are a little bit old, and the living envelope, it's not very sealed, especially being very high up. So the humidity levels rise, and they come back home, and there's mold over everything.
Wow.
So we see that very often as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mold zero here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Sara Schneider. What on the mold side, what can people look out for other than the obvious? If you start to feel bad, you have those. And I would say also, if you're talking to your doctor, you can't figure out where it's coming from, what's the diagnosis, maybe check your living quarters, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We work with several doctors in the area that are treating these patients for mold related health issues, and they say, okay, look, we can definitely help you, but we want to find out what caused these health issues in the first place. So let's start looking at your home, let's start looking at your office, what could be going on, and then they give us a call and they want either an inspection, or they even sometimes just want a free estimate and a walkthrough just to come, because sometimes people call us and I don't really think I have an issue, but I just want to check, and we go in there and it's a full-blown issue. It's not because they weren't able to find it. It's just because they don't have that knowledge of what mold looks like and where it can grow. So a lot of the times we even go in there just on a free estimate, and we're able to find the mold instantly.
Wow, Sara. So Brandon was also mentioning that sometimes you have competing molds. Is that right? So this mold will be competing with that mold, and anytime it hits the top, it's going to spread. It's weird how they can exponentially grow. Yeah,
no, absolutely. When you have different molds, they're just kind of like battling each other for territory. The thing is, in our industry, we're not dealing with just doing a new kitchen or a new roof. We're dealing with microscopic organisms. Their basic instinct is survival, just like us. We want to survive, so do they. So they have ways to fight back, and when they're up against other molds that will take their space, they will fight and release spores into the air. So those spores that we breathe in are what causes the health issues. So it's no joke. Definitely, I've seen a lot of our patients have very serious health issues, and I always try to tell everyone who I work with or people who I have connection with, our clients, it's not a do it yourself project. Mold is just one of those. There's a lot of things I do it myself in my home, that I know how to do. I watch online tutorials. I'll do my little blog, save a little bit of money. And I, love that, being able to create something nice in your home and then be able to save a little bit of money on it is definitely a pleasing factor. But when it comes to microcell living organisms that are actually harming you and creating health problems, that's just not something you want to play with.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just not something you want to do it yourself. So that's what I always try and tell people, there's an easy solution for it. Mold remediation companies are trained in it. We can come out there and solve the problem very quickly, and that way you are breathing a better indoor air quality and not having these health problems. Yeah,
indoor air quality is such a huge area. We have Greg Bowman, AC guy of Tampa Bay. He talks about quoting the EPA. I think it's 5 times worse indoors than it is outdoors in terms of your air quality. So for our listeners out there, our viewers of our TV show version, why don't you text the word mold if you'd like to have a consultation or potentially talk about an inspection. 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline, 813-670-7372. Call or text that line. Any questions, comments you have, we'll put you right in touch with Sara and her team. And Sara, what will that follow-up call sound like? What will that look like?
Well, I mean, basically, we'll just get a little bit of an idea of what seems to be going on in the home, even if it's a potential home you're, interested in buying. We will come, even and just do a visual walkthrough for you. We'll let you know if we see any indicators of a situation. Just collect some general information about you and set up a time, obviously, to come by. We have the option of doing an actual mold inspection with testing, or we can even come by and do a free visual, estimate, and that will help us at least help you and guide you in the right direction. So if we think you need to, call a roofer because you have a roof issue, if you need to call a plumber because we find a leak, we will guide you in the right direction and give you recommendations on how to potentially handle that situation. And then, of course, if we find a problem, then we can give you a quote to actually get the work done and just at least help you out, see what we can do to help you.
And you guys would actually come in and do the remediation as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, if, we see a very big, situations, obviously mold situations are classified at different levels. If we see a very large mold situation, we'll most likely refer you to an independent inspector, and then you could give us a call when you're done, and we'll build a quote for you and come out and do the work for you and, get that done and get you a clean bill of health. We do offer a clean bill of health guarantee and a warranty with that. So our main goal is to provide you with a clean, healthy home, and that way you're not having any health issues, you're not putting your family at risk, that way you are just breathing safe, healthy air. That's our main goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Clean air, it's something that we need to have, and it's one of those things that's kind of, we don't see it necessarily, right? We have one of our water quality experts is Fred as well. Fred DeFelice, water science.us is his company. It's kind of similar. Like you drink water, you're like, it tastes okay, And then when you taste the water that he can have, through the system that he provides, it's a different level of cleanliness, and that's what you want to have with your home. So excellent stuff. Sara Schneider, moldzero.com, VP of Sales and Marketing, moldzero.com. And when we come back, more from our expert contributors. We're also going to talk about a feel-good story of the day. Every day we're going to tell you something positive here in our feel-good story. So a store owner who lost everything to looting hopes to reopen after donations pour in. Stay with us right here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. Got a couple of hot properties here in Tampa Bay I want to let you know about here. We've got a property on Lake Tarpon, 520 George Street South on Lake Tarpon. This is in Tarpon Springs. Live that Florida lifestyle. Bring your boat and jet skis and all the fun toys over to 520 George Street South. Private dock, open water views of the lake, and also a mother-in-law suite as well. Rent that out, turn that into an income property. 520 George Street South, listed just shy of $500,000. A great buying opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And we got a lot of other land listings, some vacant land. Rob, we've got a lot of land listings here. I want to have you scroll through some of them. 4207 Cox Drive. We probably getting an offer on that one this week. We got a double-sided deal going on. 4214 Peaceful Lane in Land O'Lakes. This is 8 lots on the waterfront on Bell Lake. It's a 90-acre ski lake, 5 of which are directly on the waterfront. Great opportunities here in Tampa Bay. Here we've got Harbor Drive, also expecting an offer on that one. 2 lots side by side right in Clearwater with access to the open water views of beautiful Tampa Bay. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving. Say hello to our friends over at Brothers Easy Moving. Gary Thacker's the owner, and whether you're planning a local or long-distance move, they can help you pack up. They also do junk hauling and office moving. Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we're going to the phones now. We got Clyde Smith, general manager of Bilmar Beach Resort, giving us our beach update for Tampa Bay. Hey, Clyde.
Hey, Brandon, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. And yourself?
Good. I'm doing great. Beautiful weather over here on Treasure Island. The humidity's down, sun's out, so we're enjoying it quite a bit, along with our guests.
Absolutely. So you got the Bilmar Beach Resort. 90% of the rooms overlook the beach. That's very rare for hotels.
That is rare for hotels, and out of those, 2/3 of them have balconies and a kitchenette in them. So you can really make yourself comfortable and enjoy the great view and the cool breezes. A guest also, especially during this time, they love the fact that we have 2 swimming pools. So if one pool seems to be, looking to a little crowded for you, there's a whole other option down at the other end of the property. So we're nice and spread out, and our 4,000 square foot sun deck has chairs spread out up there. It's been really, really nice. People have been enjoying getting out a little bit after, staying at home for a while.
Now, Clyde, I know you are a networker as well. You're out there networking on the beaches. What's the overall business climate like down in Treasure Island? Does it feel like this coronavirus pandemic might be in somewhat of the rearview mirror?
Not really, and I think that's a good thing. As we
Mm-hmm.
watch the news, there's still activity out there. So, I think the business aspect, people are getting back to business, but, and I'm sorry to use the phrase, but it's the new normal where, people know to stand back a little bit, give you a little space.
Yep.
And I have to say, they're doing a great job of that. My office actually overlooks our pool area, and I, keep checking that to make sure we're not, crowding it. And they're not. People are, someone else comes in, they get up and go out and do something else for a little while. So I think that's good. The restaurants are probably 70% open, of course, with the 50% indoor seating, which we're so fortunate to have our open-air cafe plus the 3 open decks on Sloppy Joe's that, we've been able to comfortably accommodate people and have them feel safe. Some restaurants don't feel that spacious, but, they've put some, seating outside, just the new normal way to do the business. But people, are being pretty good. Most are wearing masks, if they're in tight quarters. And so that's kind of different, especially around the beach. Certainly when you're outside, you don't need that unless you get caught up somewhere. But it's not in our rearview mirror altogether. We want to keep our eyes open on it and just do the right thing. If everyone follows the distancing, I think we can all get through this pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so much to do on Treasure Island. It's just it's a fun place. You got your huge beach, as you jokingly said, on the show. It's a great quote we had, the 2-beer beach. It takes you 2 beers to walk all the way down to the waterways, or you said 1 strong margarita, right?
Yes. And it is, and that's another nice thing about our beaches. There is plenty of space. You can, go out and throw your frisbee, fly your kite, which of course we have the great kite festivals a couple of times a year, but you can do all that and be 12, 14, 15 feet from somebody without any worries about, being on top of someone. And that's not all the beaches in the area are like that, or even on the East Coast especially. And we're encouraging people. We know people need to get outside some. We've done all the right thing. Every employee was trained coming back in. We have new cleaning protocols. We just deliver supplies to your room for you if you need something during your stay. So, you can comfortably come out here, take advantage of our Florida resident rate, and get the family outside a little bit. The sunshine is good for you. They've proven that.
That's right. Here in the Sunshine State. And if you just joined us, we're talking with Clyde Smith. He's the general manager of the Bilmar Beach Resort over on Treasure Island, my favorite hotel to visit on the beaches. What an awesome time. And just some of the amenities that you have there: free parking, free Wi-Fi, 2 heated pools, hot tub, fitness center, beach area transportation, free beach area transportation, 2 restaurants on site. You got the fire pits as well. Now, are you doing music as well, entertainment as well?
We've brought live music back into both restaurants on the weekends now, so that went over really well. Last weekend was the first full weekend, and as I mentioned last time we spoke, we took our cafe, which was really more of a restaurant kind of an atmosphere, and we've turned it into a major fun zone now. So in addition to live music, there's a pool table, there's ping pong tables. Out on the patio, still covered, but with misters. There's the cornhole games, just lots of things going on. And then, of course, the 2 fire pits that are out there. So it's become super popular with the guests. And then we also have full-time staff that as soon as someone gets done with the game, we're wiping it down and keeping it ready for the next person. It's gone over really well. And Sloppy Joe's live entertainment, great to have that back. It's kind of what you expect and what you want when you go there. So it's good to have the entertainers out, and I trust you, they're happy to be out. It's been a tough one on the entertainers that have had nowhere to play their venues.
Yeah. What a challenge for those folks that are, and what about your employees, your staff? Have you had to go through furloughs, and then some people coming back? Are you guys doing okay in terms of with the coronavirus as far as affecting the business?
Yeah, we've been very fortunate because I know some of my counterparts, as you said, we network quite a bit. There's some hotels that have not been able to fully open because they've not been able to bring staff back. We had a 95% callback, and we're real excited that we've got the employees were ready, willing, and able. They understand that things are a little different, so they all went through the training before they started a shift, and they followed it wonderfully. We've had very little. We're actually going through a retraining right now. Just to make sure we don't put it in our rearview mirror, that we're really on top of it. You don't want to relax at this point. Our guests expect, the service, and we're ready to give it. And employees' attitude has been great. It's been fun to have the whole team back together again.
Now, Clyde, are you noticing people coming from certain regions of areas in the country, or other areas more so than others? It's kind of interesting sometimes to see the migration.
It's well over 50% from Florida. So people are doing the staycation, which is great. This time of year, that's common anyways. Had a lot of folks from Ohio come in. Fortunately, right now, our friends from the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, they are still on a mandatory quarantine. So, we've accepted cancellations with no penalties, which we've done along this whole long ride we've been on. We understand, and we just want to, wait till everything's safe and they feel safe, and then they can come down. Some folks from Indiana, not quite as many, because the flights are tough on people coming from further away. That's what's kept the drive market a little more popular. And it's good. And a lot of families, a lot of children. I mean, just running around everywhere sometimes. But it's been really fun. A lot of young families have come. So, they're the ones I think that was one of the hardest to keep locked up for a month or so with a, 5, 6-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine the challenges there, especially with the homeschooling and all, how that went down. So we're talking about Clyde Smith.
Here. That's good news.
Say again?
They can do the homeschooling here. In fact, we're just getting ready to turn our 5G internet on. It goes on at the end of this week. We're going to be the fastest internet around when that happens, which is great for the streaming.
That's awesome. Absolutely. We're talking with Clyde Smith. He's the general manager of the Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, the Bilmar Beach Resort. And Clyde, a lot of people, they're confused too these days when they're shopping. They're going online. There's all these different sites that try to pull you, these pop-up banners popping up all over the place. But the best way to book is directly give you a call, book directly, or hit the website?
It is, and right now the website's really a great option. For one, you can just type in and drop under the rate code Florida, and it'll give them the Florida resident discount. But currently, we're running an even better special that's only available through the internet. And so if you buy 2 nights, you get the third night at 50% off.
Very
So
nice.
that's been real popular. We turned that on right as we came into this, and it just took off. People have really enjoyed it. I think some are staying a third night extra just to take advantage of that, and because it made it affordable for them, which we've tried to do for our guests. There are some restrictions on the weekend or a Saturday night can't be the 50%, but just going to the website, very easy, BilmarBeachResort.com. Double check. There's some websites out there that try to pretend they're you, so just make sure it's the BilmarBeachResort.com and nothing more. There's one that has slash another word, so you just make sure you're on our website. You'll see a beautiful picture of the Bilmar at the top of it and a beautiful beach, and book directly there, and you can get a great deal, or call us if you have any questions.
I love going down there and visiting you guys and enjoying the beach time, getting that local staycation going on. And I'm a member of Freedom Boat Club as well, so they've got a couple locations of the Freedom Boat Club right down there. So we're able to, reserve a boat, have a day on the water, have a day at the beach, and then, come back, hang out at the pools, hit the sun deck, and just so many things to enjoy. And we are truly blessed to be living here, right here in the best Tri-City area. I call it the best Tri-City area in the country. You look at Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. What a great place to live, work, and play, Clyde.
I totally agree. The new phrase on Treasure Island is party like a pirate, work like a captain. So it keeps you focused on both areas of life.
Nice. I like that. All right.
They
Good
just
stuff.
came out with that. They did a good job of that.
Excellent. All right, Clyde. Well, thanks so much for calling
Thanks
in with
for
the
having
beach
me on. It's
update.
always a pleasure talking to you, and we look forward to your listeners coming and visiting us. Just make sure you mention Consumer Quarterback so we know where you're coming from.
That's right. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right. Awesome. Thanks, Clyde. We'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day, my friend.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
All right, excellent stuff. That's Clyde Smith, General Manager, Bilmar Beach Resort over on Treasure Island. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you and take them up on those special offers and incentives. Hashtag BillMarvelous as well on social media. So, all right, stay with us here. When we come back, more from our expert contributors. We've got Sara Schneider. She stayed in studio with us as well. Mold Zero, VP of Sales and Marketing. We're going to talk about that. Also, our feel-good story of the day. I love this story. A store owner who lost everything to looting hopes to reopen after donations pour in. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. We also buy properties cash. So if you need an instant, fast cash offer, we have Keller offers, and we can buy your property and close literally within a week. So fast cash closings on your real estate properties. This segment is brought to you by the Golf Cart Depot, official partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, the Golf Cart Depot. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Easy Go, Star EV, Cushman, remanufactured and pre-owned. They also have now available the Icon Electrical as well. And they've got 2 locations here in Tampa Bay. Support them, if you would, please, over at Land O'Lakes or the Clearwater location. And they've got some great opportunities. They will also deliver the golf cart to you during the pandemic as well. So reach out to our friends Marty and his team over at Golf Cart Depot. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, got a hot property here. Commercial property listing at 19206 US 19 in Clearwater. This is a car lot with a freestanding building. It's at 19206 US 19 North in Clearwater. This is a great opportunity, maybe potentially for a 1031 exchange as well. It's an auto dealership right at the US 19 corridor there, multi-use building, and a great opportunity to own real estate here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Also, 1401 Seminole Boulevard. This is a property in Largo. Very rare find. Is a corner acre, 0.82 acre corner lot, which could be used for office, medical, retail, restaurants, goods, and services as well. 1401 Seminole Boulevard in Largo. Check out all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Every day we're going to tell you something positive here in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so this is our clothing store owner out of Chicago who lost $350,000 from looting on his way to getting back to, thanks to all of the kindness from strangers. He's on his way to getting back. Hak Tong Kim, a small business owner at City Fashion, said he lost everything after looters tore through and stole everything. He was absolutely devastated and had no plans to reopen. Seeing his despair, his daughter Hannah posted on Facebook, "I'm gravely upset. My parents' store, City Fashions, was completely looted during the riots this weekend in Bronzeville, Chicago. They took everything. The stores her parents have built for decades have been ransacked in a mere instant. They were just devastated. My dad helplessly watched City Fashions being overrun and looted, and my uncle was assaulted. Huge crowd ransacking the store. Although they were able to drive home safely, they were completely devastated. First generation Korean parents worked blood, sweat, and tears, established a business of their own. And her dad is total optimist, she says. He said he's giving up today. And my parents were defeated, despair broke in, and she can empathize with, she says, I can truly empathize with the outrage and the unjust treatment of African Americans, how these protests justified, but how can these protests justify destruction of innocent people's livelihoods? My parents did not deserve this at all. And she said, unlike chain stores, meaning national chain stores, our small business insurance does not cover stolen goods caused by damage from rioters and looters. And these stolen goods were worth about $350,000. As such, my parents essentially lost their business in its entirety. Kim's community responded. Here's the good part. In less than 2 weeks, more than $200,000 has been raised to help Kim reopen his business. In a video posted on GoFundMe, Kim thanked everyone for their support and announced that he is thinking about reopening his store. So, feel-good story of the day. We got Sara in studio still. Sara, what's your reaction to that?
That's definitely a feel-good story. I was definitely moved for a moment there. I mean, this is the classic story of, someone moving to America and just starting a new life and being able to succeed, and then in a moment having that all taken away, but then your fellow community, your fellow citizens stepping up to the plate and helping someone out. I've actually heard quite a few stories like that. There have been a few people that have posted their story. I think there was one sports bar in, I believe it was Minneapolis or Minnesota. I don't remember exactly, but they had the same thing. And people just flooded the GoFundMe site, and then just, the whole place was burned down basically. And, it makes you feel good when people really, in light of everything that's going on, they try to help.
The power of the internet, social media, GoFundMe accounts.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We've done a lot of those different over the years of the show, and it's great to have that feel good segment of our show, and we talk a lot about that. And by the way, that's Sara Schneider here in studio, moldzero.com, VP of Sales and Marketing here in studio as well. One of our partners as well as Children's Cancer Center, and we look at Children's Cancer Center. We're supporting them. They have provided a press release because they've been hit really hard by the pandemic as well. So they have a new, what it's called, the Due to the COVID-19 Pandemic, the Children's Cancer Center has created a new fundraising event, Ride, Restore, Refresh. Pediatric Center has not taken a break during these times, nor has the Children's Cancer Center, or a pediatric cancer has not taken a break, is what it says. So they're supporting the families battling pediatric cancer at Ride, Restore, Refresh. We partnered with Union Tree, newly opened spin and yoga studio for an outdoor social distance event consisting of 30 minutes of cycling, 30 minutes of restorative yoga, 30 minutes of refreshments. Participants must create a fundraising page to join on Sunday, June 28th. So it's coming up Sunday, June 28th at the Children's Cancer Center. And the first 60 people to fundraise $250 will be guaranteed a spot. So when Sunday, June 28, 2020. And that's 5:30 to 9 p.m. And where is at the Children's Cancer Center. So this is right at their location at Cypress Street, 4901 West Cypress Street in Tampa. And, you've heard the Children's Cancer Center on the show over the years. So support the Children's Cancer Center. They need it. They've been hit. A lot of foundations have been hit by the corona pandemic. So let's jump into our lightning round here, Sarah. We got our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at
Top
lightning
tips,
rounds!
nuggets of advice,
lightning round.
parting words of wisdom.
Okay, so a few tips is when buying a new home, don't just get your regular home inspection, also get a mold inspection by a licensed mold inspector. Another tip is monitor your humidity levels in your home. So humidity levels need to be between 40 and 60% in a home. That's definitely something you can monitor with buying a humidistat on Amazon. I think you can get it for $20,
Nice.
and that really helps you, in monitoring that. Also, your AC. If you go out of town, don't lower your AC. Don't try to save a few dollars on your AC bill.
Right.
Keep that AC on. Keep it cool. That is very important here in the humidity. Also, if you find any kind of leak or water intrusion in your home, handle it within hours. Right away, call a water mitigation company like ourselves, or get a plumber out to fix it instantly. Water causes mold, and with this humidity and the temperature levels here, it grows very, very quick, even within 24 hours. So Florida definitely has this downside of the weather being such a perfect environment for mold. So those are my tips. If you have water intrusion, get it taken care of ASAP.
Absolutely. Good stuff. I'm going to talk about in our tips here, we're going to talk about the market update. We're going to give you a real estate market update, and we've got some stats here from the Greater Tampa Realtor Association. We've got the latest stats. So we've got active stats here for May of 2020. Of course, you look at the stats for the statistical for the stellar MLS coverage area, and that's basically the the Greater Tampa Bay area. You look at active listings are down 12% year over year. They're down 12% month over month, rather, and 23% from May of 2019. So active listings are down. New listings, interestingly, in May, they went up 25%, but year over year, they're down 20%. So it's still a low inventory market. Pending sales up 52% from month over month. And then year over year, they're down 4%. So that's to be expected. We're down in actual pending sales. Listings sold down 9% month over month, 39% negative year over year for the month of May. So you got average days on market. Of course, that's going to be up a little bit. You look at sales volume, $31.5 billion in sales, down 7% month over month, down 38% year over year compared to May of 2019. And then average sales price as well. So you got $287,620 is the average sales price, which is down 2% month over month, up 2% May 2019, so year over year. And then, of course, the months of inventory. 4.1 months of inventory, down 7% month over month, up 8% year over year. So interesting. So the market is still a low inventory market. We are in a position where we have more buyers than sellers. So it's a great time. We talk about the move up buyer. For example, if you're selling your $180,000 home and you say, hey, this is a great time, we're going to move up to a bigger, nicer house, whatever, closer to the beach home, our dream home, and you're buying in the $500,000 price range, now you're moving from a competitive situation, very competitive, to a less competitive price point at $500,000. So there's less competition there, which equals less competition, more negotiating power for the buyer. Great time for move-up buyers. That's your real estate market update here for May 2020 here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm Brandon Rhymes, of course, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness and do something kind for one another. I want to thank Sara as well. Great show today. Thanks for coming in and providing those nuggets of advice for our listeners out there and our viewers of our TV show.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, my pleasure. And we also heard from Clyde Smith, General Manager of Bilmar Beach Resort here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time